You came here to see 5 cool features in Frostpunk 2, and I aim to deliver just that. In Frostpunk 1, you managed a fairly small community around a central heat generator. That heat generator is of course still a central element in Frostpunk 2, but the game's taking the scale and complexity to the next level with districts. Since Frostpunk 2 plays 30 years after the original, we already start with a quite substantial population, around 8,000 citizens in fact, which is a pretty significant departure from the original, where you began with a very small group of survivors. Now, you don't just place individual buildings, but entire specialized districts. A few examples here are residential, industrial, or food districts. This actually changes the game completely, as the urban planning and development, and also the political and societal aspect, is on a much larger scale. So this is much more than just a visual change. The placement of these districts affects how your city operates, and also your population's happiness. For example, placing a residential district too close to an extraction district can reduce your residents' health and working speed due to pollution. Not all fans of the original liked this change when it was first announced, but keep watching for a bit and you will soon see how this change resonates really well with the rest of the game. With your population being dramatically bigger here than in Frostpunk 1, this brings new political challenges as well. Frostpunk 2 introduces a council that is composed of representatives from various factions and communities within your city. Since this is a council and you are not a dictator here, laws and decisions you wish to introduce must be debated and voted on before they can be implemented. This is pretty cool because it kinda depicts real-world challenges where people must negotiate, compromise, and sometimes play factions against each other to achieve their goals. I think we can agree that this edition is definitely going to present us with some very difficult decisions we have to make, some of which we might regret for the rest of our playthrough.
People are starving.
More people, more mouths to feed.
They treat us like animals, left to suffocate.
We need a place to work.
Who else will feed our families?
Stuart, this squalor will kill her.
I already hinted at factions, but I believe they are such a great implementation that they deserve their own section in this video. It is pretty much inevitable that there will often be conflicting demands of different factions. For example, the machinists are all about using technology to get ahead. They believe that the best way to survive is by building and improving machines that can help everyone live better and work more efficiently. In contrast, the foragers are the traditionalists who think that relying too much on tech is risky. They prefer sticking to skills that have worked in the past, like hunting and gathering, and balancing what these factions want is a big part of the game. The power and influence of these factions can completely change as the game progresses. New events or your decisions can make a faction more powerful or satisfied with your leadership, or the complete opposite. If you lean too much towards one group, you might tick off another, which surely leads to tension and problems later down the road, and can go as far as the entire destruction and death of your town. Heat stamps are a new feature that act like a currency for expanding your city by breaking down frost. This is critical because you need to access resources locked under ice to survive and grow your city, and those heat stamps are required in order for you to be able to break that ice. Now essentially, heat stamps determine how and where you can build, so it's tying your city's expansion directly to your resource management strategy. They make the game more strategic because you have to plan more carefully about resource allocation and city expansion, and it's challenging you to make tougher decisions on managing both your growth and survival in a world that is inherently against you. Since resources are not infinite, you can and should establish logistical stations at the edges of the map. These stations allow you to launch expeditions into the Frostlands, the uncharted territories surrounding your city. This is where the demo was pretty limited, but it was also where we realized just how much bigger in scale Frostpunk 2 is compared to Frostpunk 1. But essentially what we know is that this exploration process is vital, so we can uncover additional resources, like abandoned coal mines. Now, once you gain access to the Frostland map, you can dispatch exploration teams to scout the environment, and once you find, for example, a deserted coal mine, it allows you to set up a supply route back to your city, so you don't succumb to the freezing conditions. All in all, this seems like a proper sequel that aims to build on all the things that worked out great in Frostpunk 1, and expands on that significantly.
We want a say in how we run the city.
These developers are not afraid to try out new stuff that not everyone will enjoy, and I respect that. Let us know what you think, and if this video was useful, you can show your support by liking this video.